Welcome students. In this video we will study about the Russian Revolution while going with the chapter 2, Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Russian Revolution is referred to as the events leading to the fall of monarchy in Russia in February 1917 and the events that took place till October in the following year. All these events are collectively known as Russian Revolution in the European history. Before we start, let's have a look at the Russian Empire before the Russian Revolution. In 1914, Russian Empire was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. Tsar, that is the king of Russia, commonly known as Tsar. Nicholas II was the king of Russia in 1914, and the Russian Empire comprised of the places which are known as in today's world as Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Poland, Ukraine and Belarus. In Central Asia, the empire extended till Georgia, Armenia and present-day Azerbaijan. The Russian society was comprising of the Russian Orthodox Christianity, the major group, along with the Catholics. In the Catholics, the majority was of Baptist, that is the people who were born with some other religion but have adopted Christianity. The Protestants, the Muslims and the Buddhists. Let's have a look at the economy and society before the Russian Revolution. In the beginning of 20th century, the Russian society was basically comprising of around 85% agriculturists. That is 85% of Russia was engaged in agriculture and the production of food grains was at a major level. That's why it made Russia a major exporter of grains. The industry was very small in number, that is limited number of industries were there, and that too in Petersburg and Moscow. The Petersburg is now known as St. Petersburg. In the books it is written the industry was in pockets. That word pocket means the industry was in limited number. With the expansion of railway network and increase in investment, more factories were set up in Russia in 1890s. The industries which were set up in 1890s or after that, they were mostly private owned industries. The government also established a few large factories with a view to ensure minimum wages and limited working hours. Whereas in these private industries, the working hour ranged from 10 to 15 hours, and in government factories, the working hours were mere 5 to 6 hours. The factory inspectors were appointed to look into the working of factories, but they could not prevent the rules from being broken. Even the workers, they were living in very different accommodations, and these accommodations varied from rooms to dormitories. What are dormitories? Dormitories refer to the bed chambers. In simple words we can say that is a large area or a long room in which beds were there. So the workers, since the factories were set up, these dormitories refer to the large areas or a long room in which beds were there. So the workers, they were having only space to sleep, and then in the next day they have to go for work. They were like bunkers. Now, the workers, they were divided into various social groups on the basis of settlement and on the basis of the skill they possessed. On the basis of skill, there were two types: the skilled and trained workers, and those who were unskilled workers. And they were treated differently. As the industries prominently comprised, which were industries which were set up after 1809, these industries comprised basically of coal, iron and steel industry, which required specialized labor and skilled labor. That's why skilled labor were appointed, as well as such industries, they involve the transportation of heavy goods and heavy raw materials from one place to another. Hence, unskilled laborers were also required. On the basis of settlement, the workers were of two types: those who were belonging to villages, they have a strong bonding with the village, and they used to go back to their village after the working hours, or say you can say after working for 5 to 6 days they went back to their villages. But the second division was of the permanent settlers, that is those who have permanently settled in the cities. Amongst the working class or the total working population, 31% of the factory labor comprised of women, and these women were paid less wages as compared to their male counterparts. Sometimes in some factories or industries, these wages ranged from half of what the male counterpart is getting, or at some places or in some factories it was equal to 3/4 of the wages received by the male workers doing the same job. Although divided by various social groups, these workers often united to strike or to stop the working when they were disagreed or dissatisfied with the employers or the factory owners. The peasants were mostly cultivators. They cultivated most of the land, but it was in the countryside. The peasants were cultivating most of the land, but they have no respect for nobility. Why is this so? Because the nobility, they were the property owners or the land owners, but they have got this land not by proper popularity, but they have received this land as a grant for rendering their services to the Tsar. Hence, the peasants, although they were working in the fields or they were working on the lands, but they have no respect for the nobility. The Russian peasants, they were different from the European peasants in a different way or in a particular way. What was that? They often pooled. Pooled means they often shared their land together on periodic basis, that is on timely basis, and their commune or the mir or their head divided it according to the needs of the individual families. Like some families who were having large number of members, large feed was provided to them. Also, if in case some family is having some procession or occasion, the product was distributed to them in accordance with the occasion or the procession. Thank you.